Let's make a spicy, crispy buffalo seitan sandwich. That's right, I said sandwich. As with all my seitan recipes, we're going to start with a simmering liquid. And for this one, I'm just going to have some water, a little bit of smoked paprika. If I was pressed, that's probably about a teaspoon. And I love this stuff. Kirkland Organic no salt seasoning. Just, I don't know, another teaspoon or so in there. You don't want to go too much. This stuff is a little bit on the spicy side, but we are making a spicy sandwich. Now I want to bring this up to a simmer, roughly 160 to 180 degrees. You don't want this boiling. For the spicy seitan for our sandwich, we're going to need a half cup of vital wheat gluten, 2 tablespoons of chickpea flour, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder. Those two just always seem to go together. 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper powder. Now, you can use more if you want to, but we found that this was actually on the spicy side already, so I like it to have flavor, not just power.
We're also using cayenne because we're trying to stay true to the traditional buffalo style chicken, but if you want to go a little crazy, you can do any chili powder that you like.
To that, I'm also going to be adding 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon. Now, the one that we use is this one. We get it from the Asian market. There are no versions of this on Amazon, but I did find some other stuff that might work. So we're going to be testing, and I might have a product that I can recommend off of Amazon soon. But if you can't get that, or you can't find anything like it, you can also use the Better Than Bouillon chicken flavor. Give the dry a little bit of a mix, set that to the side. In come all the wet ingredients. So into our mixing container here, I have 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, because I like to add a little bit of sweet whenever I make something spicy. I think it balances the flavors a little bit better. You know, just a little sweet, a little spicy works for me. I have here a 1/3 cup of water, but I'm not going to put all that water in yet, just about half of it, and mix that up, because you never know if you need all the liquid or not until you realize you need all the liquid or you put too much in. So now I'm just going to make the well in this. I don't know why I make a well. I just always do. And pour in the wet and mix it around. It should start coming together into a little bit of a dough, and just kind of work your way to the edges, kind of like making pasta. Same idea. Okay, see, I can already tell I don't have enough liquid in there. So let me just put in the rest of that water because I'm going to need it. Can't tell you how many times I've put too much water in right away, and then, okay, now I have to add more vital wheat gluten. I have to add more of this, more of that. And before you know it, you're not even on the same recipe anymore. So it's a good idea to try to put less in first, because you can't take it back out once it's in. And if you look, see for this one, there's still a lot of dry in there. I needed a little bit more than that 1/3 cup. So just a couple of drops of water, probably a teaspoon at most. That's probably where I want it to be. I want this to be moist, but not sopping wet, because it's harder to form gluten when it's really, really wet. Use your best tools. Yeah, this feels really good. It has a nice moist texture, but I can feel the gluten starting to form. And notice it's kind of sponging up all the stuff on the sides. There's no need to waste that. I don't like to waste anything if possible. And if you're worried about the spices on your hands, you can wear gloves if you want to. I never remember until it's too late. And of course, I have a tiny little cut on my finger from tinfoil from the last video, which is really burning right now. So I'm kind of regretting not wearing gloves, but it's too late now. Okay, once you have it all basically out of the bowl, put it on your board. Give it a knead. This recipe serves 2, but you can always scale it up if you want to. Notice I'm just folding it in half and sliding it across. Just kind of pushing all of it together, forming that gluten. You can tell by the color that this is going to be a little on the spicy side. Now for this one, I like to form some good strands of gluten in it. It just adds to the chew later on. So, you know, maybe 5 minutes of kneading. And then I'm going to do my little curl that I like to do, where I just kind of go like that with it. See, I didn't really form enough yet. Oh, a couple more minutes of kneading. Let me start forming it into a round so I can figure out about half, like there. Cut it into 2. And now work each one into a roundish shape, kind of almost a patty, a burger-like thing. You want it to be relatively flat, like mostly thin, but not too big, because if they're huge, then, you know, they kind of flap over the edges, and that's just not good. About the size of your bun.
At this stage, I want to add a little comment. Brian talked about earlier where we were adding in the cayenne that you could add more. You want to be careful when you change the ratio of dry to wet ingredients, particularly with working with vital wheat gluten, because you can alter the recipe to the point that the gluten strands won't form.
Well, they'll form, they just won't be able to get to each other because there's so much other stuff in the middle. So that's kind of, we're almost at the edge of that with this particular recipe. So be really careful. I don't think cayenne pepper would be a problem, but if you added more, say, maple syrup, that probably would be an issue. Some other things like other flours and things like that might be a problem. But if you added enough cayenne pepper to make this a problem, well, that's going to be one spicy sandwich. Okay, now that my patties are pretty much ready to go, I'm going to drop them into the simmering liquid for 30 full minutes. After 30 minutes of simmering, our seitan is ready to go. I have here the basket of my air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, you could just bake these. I don't think they'll get quite as crispy, but this is my super patented secret to how to get crispy patties in the air fryer. You take the patty, drain it well. So there's all kinds of liquid in there. Get them in there. Then 400 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes on each side, and these will come out crispy because I don't really like to have to deep fry. Okay, it's time to assemble. We found these really cool ciabatta rolls, and I just made sure it was cut in half, toasted it, and now it's time for the seitan. Okay, you might have expected to see a sandwich get assembled, and I wanted to do that too, but somebody, me, pulled the plug on the camera when we were moving them for the other setup and lost that part of the video. But I will just tell you, very simply, these are ciabatta rolls that we got at Publix, and I toasted them. I put some of our Maureen New ranch on the bottom and the top of the top bun. We put the patty on top. We dropped Frank's Red Hot Wing Sauce, buffalo style. By the way, that stuff is amazing, and it happens to be plant-based and vegan-friendly.
If you look at the ingredients on that, it says butter-like flavoring or something.
Yeah, but it's not butter.
But it's not butter.
Also, sorry, my sandwich is dripping all over me. Then I put a couple of hamburger pickles. You know, just the cheap ones are fine. Some shredded lettuce, and then the top bun. And that's it. Really, really simple sandwich. You can put whatever condiments you want, but that's how we decided to go with this one, and it's time to give it a try.
Now this is my favorite part, but also my most apprehensive part, because this is going to be messy. But it should be, because that means it's good.
There's enough crispiness to the seitan that it adds to the texture. Works perfectly. That sauce. Oh, that's amazing. This video could have just been about the sauce, okay? It's just that good. With everything else in there, the pickles and the lettuce, it just works. The ranch dressing on it really adds to it. Just wonderful.
You have the spiciness of the spice put into the seitan itself. Pairs perfectly with the buffalo ranch, or the buffalo sauce. And then you have the cooling of the ranch. It's beautiful. It's a symphony. Make this. Enjoy this.
And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on The Bistro.